Ever feel like waiting for that embryologist call after an egg collection is just agony? And then it's truly devastating when you hear that only a few of your eggs have fertilized, or worse, none at all. But before you lose hope, let's break down what's really happening. After over a decade of working with couples in the same situation, I have found it's much more than just poor egg quality. I'm Jaya, a natural fertility expert. I've been helping women like you get pregnant for over 15 years. Make sure you stay to the end. I'm going to share my roadmap so you can start implementing egg fertilization strategies yourself for better IVF outcomes and embryo numbers. Let's start at the beginning. It's not just about your egg quality. I know that call is absolutely heartbreaking if you're getting worse numbers than you expected or none at all. My heart truly breaks for you. Before you get into it, stop just blaming your egg quality. And it's easy to think it's just about your eggs. We've been sold that narrative that our eggs are the problem time and time again. But there's more to the story here. When I see those low numbers, or I see a big drop off after fertilization, so you might have got say 15 eggs, you got quite a good fertilization, and then we see those numbers drop off really quickly, my first thought is male factor. And this is the other side of the story that doesn't get talked about a lot in conventional medicine. The narrative there that often with doctors is that good eggs fix bad sperm. But really, we know better that we need to start digging into the male fertility story in a much bigger way. If you like the info that you're getting so far, drop me a like and subscribe. Thanks, it really helps me grow the channel. Let's talk about all the causes of what's going on with your low fertilization rate. We know from research that poor sperm quality is linked to low fertilization rates. And not just the poor sperm quality, but the DNA fragmentation. And that's something that you can't see on a sperm test. Most men, before they do IVF or anywhere in their fertility journey, the most that they will often do is a sperm test. And that's like a snapshot in time. It tells us so much, but it doesn't give us a direct link to his fertility potential. But even if his numbers are quite low on that bottom 5th percentile, doesn't mean we don't have problems there. Or if it looks really good on paper, we could still have problems at a DNA level. So DNA fragmentation, that's when the DNA is fragmented. We see issues here with fertilization specifically, or we see difficulty with that embryo growing, or we can see that it often can lead to an early miscarriage. So let me explain what's happening here. The egg and the sperm fertilize, and then it's the egg's job to fix any damaged DNA of the sperm. This is where the sperm quality is really, really important. So if we have an egg that's got poorer quality or older than 35, closer to 40, the egg's gonna have to work so much harder to really make a good embryo there and to fertilize. So we really need that sperm to be much better quality so the egg doesn't have to work so hard. But where we're sitting at the moment with sperm quality is just dropping at such a dramatic rate, it's something that I check time and time again. And I see this as a key factor influencing low fertilization rates, unexplained infertility, and poor IVF outcomes. So eggs really need good quality sperm to fertilize. They fix the damaged DNA of sperm, and fertility is a team sport. So from a basic sperm test, we can't see the quality of the DNA. We need a DNA fragmentation test. And my experience is that not a lot of couples are actually getting this test. It is more on the expensive side, and I have spoken with doctors directly who say, we don't know what to do with these results. So when they see highly fragmented sperm, their options are to just do IVF. But we know that a lot of that has to do with lifestyle factors. So from my experience, there's a lot that men can be doing in their lifestyle, in good supplements, to really help combat that DNA fragmentation and support the DNA integrity. So there's a lot that we can really do there. Your partner's role is more important than he's been led to believe. Even when the sperm test looks good, there can still be problems. But what we really need to do as well is we need to reduce the stress on your eggs and the sperm. So we talked about DNA fragmentation of the sperm. Lifestyle factors can also put stress on his sperm, just like it puts on his body. So anything that's causing oxidative stress, poor diets, high stress, smoking, excessive alcohol, not exercising, all of these things can play a key role, and it's the same for our eggs. So we want our eggs and our sperm to be as healthy as possible, and we can do that by using healthy options in our lifestyle and more antioxidants in supplements, and I'm going to be talking about that later in the video. Other key factors that I often see in low fertilization rates and poor outcomes of IVF is the quality of the lab, and this is something that we don't talk about a lot, but I talk about this a lot with my one-to-one clients. So if you're considering using a bulk billing IVF option versus a boutique clinic, then what you're really compromising is not just so much the quality in the doctor, but also in the quality of the lab. And this is really important. The quality of the labs for IVF are really, really important. I always say that this is where the magic is made. You can look up your clinic online. They publish their stats every year and their success rate. So you can look up your clinic in your area and see how well they're doing there. But that's something to consider as well if you're not having good results, that maybe a change in clinic is where you're at. Another thing to consider is the protocols from your doctor. Having good communication with your doctor is key. Are they more on the conservative side? Are they open to trying new things? When I see poor outcomes with IVF again and again and again, we need to start digging a bit deeper into what's going on here. Autoimmune infertility is a relatively new area. Not a lot of doctors are delving into this area, as some of them are, but this is where you really need to be heading if you're getting low fertilization rates or total fertilization failure, where you're getting no embryos at all. So thinking natural killer cells, DQ alpha gene, they'll be doing lots of other different treatments to try and support an implantation and a fertilization. So having that conversation with your doctor is really important, and figuring out where they sit, because you might need a second opinion. There are cases when it is truly poor egg quality. And in these situations, we're talking a very, very low AMH, we're talking premature ovarian insufficiency and things like that. So in this situation, we absolutely need to be doing everything we can to support the egg quality, high levels of antioxidants and things like that. But this is more important than ever, that the sperm quality needs to be good, so that the egg doesn't have to work any harder than it needs to try and fertilize. And it is possible, because I've worked with so many couples have been in this situation and have able to turn around and get much better quality embryos. And when we're talking about true poor egg quality, we're not looking for big, big numbers. What we're looking for is lower numbers. You might be getting the same numbers as you had in other cycles, but better fertilization. And that's what I'm always looking for in these situations. And it is absolutely possible. Let's discuss what you can do about it. I've created a little action plan of how you can improve your fertilization in your next cycle. Here are the most important factors to consider in uncovering what the root problem might be and how to fix it. I will preface this by saying that this topic is very complex. I work in this area a lot with my one-to-one clients, and we go into really deep, complex issues. But I really believe that a lot of people just need to start with the basics and they'll get better results. So do the preparation first, because there are often missed flags in the early stages of testing and lifestyle factors. I don't want to make this really complex so that you don't get anything out of this video, so I'm keeping a lot of the complexities out of it that I often work with my one-to-ones, but I'm talking about the basics here and the things that I know that you can start right now. I've kept out anything really complex and confusing that I think might go over your head. So just know that this is the starting point of where I get people to start, and that I think you can do on your own without seeing a practitioner. But the options are there that if you want to work with someone, you can get started with this and then go deeper into it. So this might not be the whole story, but it's definitely the first part, and it's where you should start. So first of all, comprehensive testing for both partners. And here is what I recommend. I'm going to put it on the screen now. What I find that is with conventional medicine, they test a smaller variation in all of this test. But really, we need a much bigger, wider variation in what we're looking at. In functional medicine, we like to get a much bigger story of what's going on. And when couples come to me often and they say, I've had all my tests done, everything's normal, I see missing pieces throughout the story here. So what we really need to get is we need a full picture here to really know where the root problem is. The other thing to consider is that when you're looking at these reference ranges, conventional medicine will often look at them just inside the reference range, but what we're looking for in optimal reference ranges here is that you're sitting closer in the middle here, so that one, we know you're in optimal health, not just in that bottom end there. So often with fertility, we need you much further up in that optimal area. We want your body to not have to work hard to get pregnant. Next step is lifestyle factors for both partners, and do this for 3 months ideally. And that includes, in a basic sense, getting rid of processed food into your diet, eating 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, and eating a variety of vegetables. Think Mediterranean style diet, think good fats, olive oil, avocado, fish, whole grains. So really, I don't like to overcomplicate the diet thing. So I think it's really important that you still eat what you love. But getting away from processed food, away from lots of sugar, and just trying to eat real food is absolutely a game changer when it comes to egg and sperm quality. Next key factor is to move your body 3 to 4 times a week. And it doesn't have to be intense exercise. It could be lightweight training, it could be walking, Pilates, but then it's important that you do what you love, and that will keep you going. But 3 to 4 times a week is definitely something to aim for. Reduce the chemicals in your life. This is a really big important one, and it is so important in improving egg and sperm quality and reducing the miscarriage risk. Start small, don't have to overhaul your whole life, but I like to just start with cleaning products in the house. There are some amazing natural cleaning products, and then also think next about what you're putting on your body. Skincare, deodorant, things like that. Start slow, and then every time you need something new, look for a natural alternative. Endocrine disrupting chemicals in a lot of our products, in a lot of our food, in a lot of our makeup, skincare, hair products, it's having a bigger impact on your fertility than you realize. It increases the miscarriage rate, it lowers the fertilization rate. It's really something to consider. I'm going to share my checklist in the comments that I send out to all of my patients. I also have a male fertility checklist that I'm going to share as well, and it's linked in the comments. In an ideal situation, we would use the results from your blood tests and then make a supplement plan specific to your needs. But in a general sense, these are the key supplements that I recommend to all of my clients to improve their egg and sperm quality. You can take a screenshot of the list coming up here or write them down. It's important that you try and get the best quality supplements that you can, but these antioxidants are key for improving egg and sperm quality, and ideally you want to be on them for about 3 months. This is mainly generalized advice, but when I work with these couples one-to-one, we go into much deeper specific recommendations. So that's the first part of what we really look at. And the next part is when we start looking into things that are a bit more complex. Part 2, asking your fertility doctor about more testing for autoimmune infertility. This is a big area, it's growing, it's going to be a huge part of the future, I'm sure, but having that conversation about what changes they will make, you'll find out really quickly if they are on the conservative side or they're open to new things. If they're open to new things, great, go ahead. Have support, have clear communications with your team. It's just so important, even more so in these complex cases. But if you're seeing a fertility doctor who's doing the same thing time and time again, it's time to move on. I often find that people think, it's just easier to stay with the person that you're with because it's too hard to start again. You're not starting again. It's actually much easier than you would believe. And then a fresh set of eyes can sometimes make the absolute difference. Those different techniques and different 1% changes in your IVF cycle can make a world of difference in how your eggs fertilize. Just quickly, I open up a few spots every month to work directly with couples one-to-one. If this is something that you're interested in and you're looking for extra support, you can book a free discovery call with me to see if it's a right fit. There's a link there in the description. So we've covered a lot of the reasons why you might be having low fertilization, and we've talked about your next steps. But here is your roadmap. So start here, start at the beginning, start with comprehensive testing for both partners, take good quality supplements at a therapeutic dose, start incorporating lifestyle changes, and get a clear fertility roadmap of what your next steps are. And what I mean by that is mapping out what your next months look like. It can take so much off the mental load. Starting at the beginning here, going, we're going to do the testing, we're going to implement these changes, we're going to try this for the next few months. In the meantime, you could be having conversations with your fertility doctor. You might bring in someone else into your team, someone who's working more in the natural space or in functional medicine is going to help to bring all the pieces together. And then you can say, we're going to start again at this stage, and we're going to see how this goes. So I think mapping out your next steps with clarity really helps you to stay on track and get better results. Second phase of this map is looking more into autoimmune infertility treatment options. And that is something to talk with your IVF doctor. I'm going to talk more about this complexity in another video. The first phase of this roadmap, it will be all that some people need. They will do the testing to make the lifestyle changes and get better results straight away. And there will be a portion of you that actually need a little bit more work. And that's when you're having more conversations with your IVF doctor about autoimmune infertility. You're doing more functional testing. And that's when I would bring in another practitioner or work with someone to really get deeper into methylation and more complex fertility, because that will be the key to getting better results. If you have any questions, please reach out, leave comments, send me an email. I'm always happy to help. I mentioned earlier that going back to make sure you're covering the basics is an important first step. It's the building block of our fertility and often gets missed or forgotten once you're deeper into your journey. If you need a refresher of lifestyle factors that are key alongside your roadmap, I've created a video here where I discuss diet, lifestyle, supplement quality, and more. Check it out.